Hello, everyone. Thank you all for coming today. My name is Spencer Jones, and I will be presenting the case statement for the disaster relief nonprofit Direct Relief. Before we begin, I just want to map out what we will be talking about and when we will be talking about them. We will start with the results in history and move on to the vision and mission statement, followed by the goals, followed closely by the objectives, next, the structure, and last but not least, the budget and fundraising plan. Direct Relief was started in 1945 by William Zimden, an Estonian immigrant who wanted to send aid packages to his family and friends who still lived in war-torn Europe. He would later pass away in 1951 and passed it to his friend Denzo Dennis Karchak, who would formally rename the organization Direct Relief. Direct Relief provides over $2 billion worth of aid, which is typically straight from the corporations that provide and manufacture said aid and services, such as Johnson & Johnson, Amgen, FedEx, and more. Direct Relief has been a gold standard for a good nonprofit, according to places like GuideStar, Candid, Forbes, and Times. The vision and mission statements are as follows. Starting with the mission statement, Direct Relief is a humanitarian aid organization active in all 50 states and more than 90 countries, with a mission to improve the health and lives of people affected by poverty or emergencies, without regard to politics, religion, or ability to pay. Its vision statement is similar. Direct Relief imagines a world where every person has access to humanitarian aid no matter the circumstances, and improves their lives to be better than they were before. Direct Relief understands that there is never going to be a world where disasters, natural or man-made, and humanitarian aid will never be needed. As such, it is our belief that the best that we can do to immediately provide any and all aid to those who need it and mitigate and prepare people for disasters as best as we can. Goals are the overarching plans that we have when faced with a disaster or situation that Direct Relief responds to. Providing quality humanitarian care means that when disaster strikes, the tools for medical operations or rebuilding people's homes are not shoddy, passable things, but quality equipment that will not only last this disaster, but could be used in the future. Continuing with the previous theme, Direct Relief ensures that when they respond to an area struck by disaster, that they will leave it better than they found it and deliver not only aid, but upgrades to the community. Direct Relief strives to ensure their presence is not one of saviorism, but one of equal partnership with community leaders and emergency responders, and establish continued and good relations through partnerships with community organizations. Objectives are the specific plans and actions that Direct Relief does to put their goals into practice. Direct Relief trains doctors, first responders, and disaster response units to be deployed as soon as a disaster hits. Direct Relief coordinates with militaries, civil defense organizations, governments, and other aid organizations to ensure that they will be on the first plane, boat, or car to a disaster area to render aid. The organization provides billions of dollars worth of humanitarian aid, including medicine, power stations, food, potable water filters, and more to ensure those struck by disaster can survive the initial hardship. Direct Relief has long-standing partnerships with companies such as Johnson & Johnson, FedEx, 3M, and dozens more, which cut out the middleman of buying the supplies needed for disaster areas. And instead, the very companies that provide the needed services provide those services directly to Direct Relief. And finally, provide permanent improvements to the infrastructure of the affected areas, such as solar panels, power banks, satellite phones, and more, to ensure a more resilient community for future disasters. Direct relief ensures that a place struck by disaster is better than when they found it, installing solar panels and power banks to ensure energy independence, well generators to provide clean water, medical grade refrigerators to ensure community health professionals will not have to worry about keeping medicine cold in a disaster. It is hoped that by providing all these things, that communities will become more independent and not need as much help as every disaster occurs. For the structure of direct relief, it is led by a board of directors which must have more than 5 and less than 25 directors on the board. The board is currently made up of 15 members, which include economic, medical, logistical, and humanitarian aid experts, each with their own backgrounds and accolades in their respective subjects. The board may have the final say. However, it is also guided by several advisory committees, such as the Medical Advisory Council and the Fund for Health Equity Advisory Council, which are made up of medical doctors from various fields that advise the board on things such as medical decisions and concerns of marginalized groups in disaster areas. Board members are only allowed to serve for 3 consecutive terms for 3 years each, after which they must step down and allow someone else to take their place. Direct Relief is a unique nonprofit as it does not actually have much in terms of monetary assets, but material ones. Direct Relief, quote unquote, spends a whopping $2.307 billion on its mission. However, as said before, Direct Relief does not actually receive that much in terms of monetary donations, but rather it receives mostly in-kind donations that the organization uses when needed. With all that being said, Direct Relief still ensures that at the end of each year, they use as much as what was donated to them. The main method of fundraising for Direct Relief, or rather, quote unquote, supply raising in this case, has been direct partnerships with companies that can manufacture and deliver the necessary goods for disaster response. By doing so, it allows for Direct Relief and the companies to bypass any sort of middleman for purchasing supplies, and allows for companies to not only get good PR, but give away excess stock and write it off on their taxes. It's a win-win for everyone involved. Thank you all for coming today, and I hope this presentation has motivated you to choosing Direct Relief for your next nonprofit to support.